info and communications technology or laptops amounting
Yes.
to 8.9.
At yan ay hindi dinagdagan o binawasan ng Kongreso at ng Senado. As is lang, maintain lang yung net. Tama po ba?
Maraming salamat po para sa Diyos at Bayan.
Maraming salamat, Chairperson Mika, at natutuwa ho ako at kami dahil yung tema ng budget ng Senado ay halos kahalintulad na rin o tingin ko parehong-pareho na rin sa tema rin ng budget ng House of Representatives. Kami rin po, binigyan ho namin ng malaking atensyon ang sektor ng edukasyon, malaking atensyon ang sektor ng public health at agriculture. At makikita ho natin mamaya sa mga detalye na itong tatlong sektor na ito ay nabibigyan ngayon ng malaking pahalaga para maramdaman ng ating mga kababayan ang tunay na serbisyo ng gobyerno. At ito talaga ang nakikita kong kailangan ng kailangan, mga basic necessities, basic services para po sa ating mga kababayan.
Tama po yun, Mr. Chair. Yun po yung isa namin na nakita na talagang maganda at alam ko, I'm also very confident that we will be able to craft a version of the budget na talaga pong sumasalamin sa gusto pong mangyari ng ating mga kasamahan pareho po sa Kongreso at sa Senado. Dahil alam ko naman po, yun na rin po yung sinabi sa atin ng ating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. noong SONA na sana mabigyan ng prioridad ang human capital development patungkol po sa edukasyon, agrikultura at kalusugan. Kaya makikita naman po natin pareho sa version ng House of Representatives at na Senado na ang pinakamalaki, ang bulto po na ang pondo ng ating gobyerno ay atin pong ilalaan para po sa tatlong mahahalagang sektor na ito. So, mamaya po, hihimayin po natin yan, Senwin. Alam po natin yan na hihimayin po natin lahat ng mga items patungkol po sa edukasyon, agrikultura at kalusugan.
Salamat. In fact, I would like to ask kung meron pong gusto magbigay ng opening statement. We recognize Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Yes, maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is not so much an opening statement as a matter of putting on record that a statement was forwarded to us by the Roundtable for Inclusive Development, RFID, and the People's Budget Coalition, signed by Bishop of Caloocan, Pablo Virgilio Cardinal David, Ramon Del Rosario of the Roundtable for Inclusive Development, Kenneth Abante, co-convener of People's Budget Coalition, and Bendanya Hyacinth Nacario Bendanya, coordinator of the People's Budget Coalition. May we request the chairman of the Senate panel to provide all members of the Bicameral Conference Committee a copy of their statement, and that hopefully we will be guided and perhaps an initial response, because I forwarded this statement to the chairman of the Senate panel the other day. Maybe an initial response before we go into the actual proceedings and the debates, Mr. President. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Yes, indeed, you forwarded to the committee a letter from the RFID group and the People's Budget Coalition. And in this letter, meron ho silang 7 items na recommendation ho sa Bicameral Conference Committee and both the Senate and the House of Representatives on how to improve transparency in the budget deliberation. And I made the checklist, actually, I showed you the checklist. Out of the 7 recommendations, 4 have been fulfilled by the House of Representatives and also the Senate. For example po, all of the documents pertaining to the budget deliberations from the start, ibig sabihin ho, pag-submit pa lang sa Kongreso ng NEP, pag-approval ng GAB, at pati yung Senate version, lahat ho ito naka-upload na ho sa website. No? Dati ho hindi ginagawa yon, ngayon naka-upload ho sa website. So pwede na ho ng ating mga kababayan makita yan in real time. So 4 out of the 7 ay na-fulfill. The rest actually, yung 3 ho ay actually ay hindi natin mafulfill dahil yung isa, ang recommendation nila, nandito yung mga ahensya. No? Sa Bicameral Conference Committee, alam naman ho natin na it's both the House and the Senate ang composition ng BICAM, hindi po yung mga ahensya. But we're happy to work with them to further improve the process, like what Congresswoman Mika mentioned earlier, na first time to in history. So marami pa ho tayong pwedeng gawin para ma-improve yung transparency process ng budget deliberation. And we're very open and we welcome suggestions, especially from our constituents.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to stress that napakahalaga ng people's participation, citizens' participation in our government deliberations and discussions. And that's why I placed this on record, and that's why I would like all members of the Bicameral Conference Committee to be given copies. Mas maganda at mas maayos ang transparency pagka ang mamamayan mismo ay we engage with citizens groups and organizations in the deliberation of the 2026 budget. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat, Senator Kiko, for that intervention.
Mr. Chair, if we may, on the part of the House,
Okay.
thank you for acknowledging, Chair Win, with regard to the transparency measures that we've already done in the House. It's the same checklist po, right? The 7 items that were mentioned here. So as we mentioned, like all the amendments, we will make sure that it's very transparent as to who will advocate for them. We've done that during the BARC, even during the period of amendments of the House. Ngayon din po makikita natin line by line lahat. So bukas po lahat ng mga amyenda. In terms of the live streaming, pareho naman po, ang Kongreso at ang Senado pareho po tayong nagpasa ng resolusyon patungkol po sa live streaming at yung pagpapublish po ng bicameral report, and minutes and yung matrix po ng disagreeing provisions. So lahat po ito, tulad po ng binanggit po ni Sen Win, ito po ang pinakaunang pagkakataon sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa na binuksan po ang BICAM. We are adopting as we go, and we hope to improve the process as we go along in the succeeding budget cycles. Pero nagpapasalamat po kami sa ating po mga kaibigan sa civil society organizations na ating pong naging katuwang sa paglilinang po, pagpapaganda lalo ng ating proseso sa kahabaan po ng budget deliberations.
Maraming salamat. Senator Erwin Tulfo?
So just be quick, Mr. Chair. This representation firmly believes that our collective focus must be education and health, and I believe this is the first time the twin foundations of long-term national development, these are not optional expenditures, Mr. Chair. They're strategic investments that determine whether our people merely survive or truly thrive. In education, for example, we are confronted with learning poverty, overcrowded classrooms, underpaid teachers, and a generation struggling to recover from years of disruption. Adequate funding for classrooms, teachers' welfare, digital learning tools, and student support is essential if we are serious about building a competitive, innovative, and resilient nation. In health, the lessons of recent years remain painfully clear, Mr. Chair. Our hospital remains overstretched, our health workers undersupported, and access to quality care remains unequal, especially in rural and far-flung communities. Strengthening primary care, public hospitals, disease prevention, and mental health service must be at the core of this budget if we are to protect both lives and livelihoods. At the same time, we must speak also, Mr. Chair and my fellow members, candidly about infrastructure spending, particularly in flood control projects. While infrastructure has a role in development, we cannot ignore the reality that some projects have failed to deliver protection to our communities, and worse, have been tainted by allegations of misuse and pocketing of public funds. Every peso lost to corruption is a classroom not built, hospital bed not provided, and a life put at risk. This bicameral conference is our opportunity to correct course, to realign resources towards sectors that directly uplift our people, to ensure transparency and accountability, and to restore public trust in the budgeting process. Let us be guided, dear colleagues, not by political convenience, but by conscience. Let us craft a 2026 national budget that places the Filipino learner and the Filipino patient at the center and that proves this Congress is capable of choosing people over port and progress over plunder. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I look forward to a principled and productive deliberation.
Maraming salamat, Senator Erwin, for those reminders. Any conferee who want to give Senator Amy Marcos?
Yes, maraming salamat sa dalawang chair natin. At maliwanagan lang sana ang minorya. Pagkat wala po akong nakikitang budget ng DPWH at kung talagang transparency ang habol natin, bakit wala rito ang pinagmulan ng pagpopoot at kawalang kampiyansa ng taong bayan sa atin?
Actually, may mga ibang mga items po ho na bukas po itatalakay katulad po ng mga special purpose funds, and program appropriations. So tomorrow
Yung
po
program po nandito.
tomorrow po ang tomorrow ho yung pag-uusapan.
Pero narito na. Andito naman yung unprogrammed at hinanap ko talaga. Arito naman yung unprogrammed. Dito sa page 31 ng page 32 na kumpleto. Kaya pinagtatakahan ko bakit yung DPWH wala po. At kung tatalakayin bukas, maaari bang ibigay sa amin ng mas maaga pagkat yung committee report, kung maalala ko, ay mahigit kumulang 1,000 at 500 pahina.
Noted po. We'll provide Her Honor the documents ahead of time.
Kailan kaya matatapos yung DPWH budget? Kasi yun talaga ang inaasahan ng taong bayan.
Assured po na ipro-provide po sa Her Honor at sa lahat po ng conferees, hindi lang po sa Senate but also sa House of Representatives po.
I would like to acknowledge on the part of the House, Representative Rufus Rodriguez for a manifestation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair Win Gatchalian of the Senate and all the distinguished senators who are here and my distinguished colleagues. Really, as stated by the chairman, Article 6, the Legislative Department, under Section 24, really gives the original exclusive jurisdiction on budgets, on appropriations to the House. But of course, the Senate has also the power to propose and concur with amendments. And doing our duty, as what the Chair, Mika, has said, we 255.5 billion of flood control and budget of the DPWH, in the first instance, was distributed by the House of Representatives to first 90 billion to health, 56 billion to education, and 53 billion to agriculture. Practically 211 billion of the 255.5. So that is to follow the presidential directive that we have to focus, as stated by former Congressman or Senator Erwin here, Tulfo, that education, health, and also agriculture will be given priority. So therefore, we have taken the lead and we are very happy that the Senate has likewise studied the budget and has also made proposals to further enhance our support for education, health, and agriculture. Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, both chairs, please. Yes, with all due respect, and I am compelled to disagree without being disagreeable. It was mentioned that certain funds are not included in this submission, when in fact, both are in fact here. On page 31, as mentioned earlier, the unprogrammed funds are already listed quite adequately, and the special purpose fund that were supposedly not here are quite clearly denominated in page 29 as special purpose funds. So ang tanging kulang lamang ay yung mahiwagang DPWH. Yun lang po.
Bukas po, hindi ho lahat ng mga items ho dito matatapos ho natin. Hopefully ho matapos, but from our estimate, baka hindi ho matapos. So bukas ho natin i-deliberate yung ibang mga agencies. Kasama po special purpose funds, kasama na rin po yung mga ibang mga ahensya.
Yes, maraming salamat po. Sana bigyan kami ng konting panahon para mabasa ng maigi at mapag-aralan yung lalo na yung DPWH. Maraming salamat po.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Any more conferees who want to make an opening statement? Meron pa hong mga...
Maybe I should. I wasn't going to. I just wanted to greet all our colleagues in the House of Representatives, both the first termers and those that I've worked with for a very long time. And I was once in your house. We understand and appreciate and recognize the concerns of the district representatives. We are one with you in serving our people in the grassroots. At the same time, we are grateful to the House of Representatives for allocating correctly the more than 250 billion from DPWH flood control to projects which will benefit the people much better, stressing on the importance of education and health. I take note that the House allocated at least 60 billion for education. You will be happy to note that the Senate, through our very hard-working and education-focused chair, even increased it to more than 85 billion. And this would be, I believe, in the history of our country. Even when I chaired the Finance Committee for 2 administrations for 5 years with 3 chairs of the House of Representatives, never happened before. For that, we're really grateful to the chair. Aside from that, we are grateful to the House as well for indicating in the HGAB the 60 billion bayad utang which rightfully belongs to PhilHealth. We also take note that in the NEP, there's a 53 billion from the syntax allocation for PhilHealth. However, let me please put it on record that the 53 billion is an incomplete NEP proposal. Kulang po ng 16 billion per the computation made by the Senate. I appeal to the BICAM to put what is rightfully belonging to health. Attorney Rufus Rodriguez, my lawyer from 20 plus years ago, would agree kung ano po ang batas ay dapat sundin. It is not a matter there is something terribly wrong here. Let me just put on record, Mr. Chair, that there is a 236.91 billion funds missing, which should go to public health, and that's to PhilHealth. And this would include the multi-year earmarking of the syntax, which were not funded, including the NEP of 53 billion. We also take note that the 2025 GAA did not have the syntax allocation, which miraculously disappeared in the GAA. We, both houses of Congress, owe that to the Filipino people. Having said that, I will discuss this further when the Health Department is brought on the floor. But let me state our appreciation for restoring in the HGAB the bayad utang when the DOF took out the PhilHealth 60 billion and returned it. Let me just state also later when we discuss the PhilHealth and the health budget that it was returned in the HGAB, and Congress was the one that enumerated the possible utilization of the funds. Let the legal luminaries and let my lawyer, Attorney Rufus Rodriguez, think about it, whether this is really in compliance with the Supreme Court decision, because the Supreme Court says, in my understanding, that it should be returned to the Treasury. It was taken from the excess funds of PhilHealth. It was not taken with enumeration of the utilization of the funds. I put that on the table. I will leave it to the body to decide. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair?
I would like to recognize our Senior Vice Chairperson, also the sponsor of the Department of Health, Representative Albert Garcia.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, Senator Win, sa ating mga fellow conferees from the House and the Senate. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Tama po yung sinabi ni Senator Loren na binalik na po o ibabalik na po ang 60 billion sa PhilHealth nung nawala nung 2025 budget. And this was discussed during the DOH defense, which I did in the House of Representatives. At isa po sa nagtanong nung defense ay walang iba kundi yung ating chair regarding the budget of PhilHealth and DOH na kung lalagyan po natin ng mas malaking budget, which they deserve at under the law, karapat-dapat po para sa ating beneficiaries, dapat lang in-emphasize ng ating chair na i-expand pa nila yung kanilang package. Kasi right now, alam po natin what's happening on the ground, na very limited po or a small percentage of the hospital bill or yung coverage ng PhilHealth ang na-charge sa kanila. And our constituents, mga kababayan po natin, have to shoulder a huge part of their hospital bill or healthcare bill. So we are in agreement sa House and the Senate na talagang by law dapat madagdagan pa yung kanilang budget, pero dapat makita nila yung kanilang responsibilidad na bilisan pa nila ang pag-expand ng mga package para agarang maramdaman ng ating mga kababayan. Of course, for now, dahil hindi pa ho ayos yung sistema ng universal healthcare, malaking tulong po yung MyFit. Dahil part of the hospital bill or healthcare expense ay na-charge natin doon. Pero with all these funds going to PhilHealth, I think our people deserve na maging institutionalized na po at malawakan na po kagad o madagdagan na po ang package para konting-konti na lang po yung out of pocket or konting-konti na lang po ang sasaluhin ng zero balanced billing ng ating mga DOH and LGU hospitals. So itong responsibilidad na ito dapat ma-emphasize sa leadership ng PhilHealth at ng DOH nang sa ganon ay magawa naman po nila yung responsibilidad nila para sa ating mga membro ng PhilHealth. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat po. Senator Go?
Good afternoon. As you all know, I had my reservations on the BICAM report for the 2025 budget. In fact, I did not sign the BICAM report last year. Particularly, I am saddened by the zero budget given to PhilHealth. No? Kumbaga, double whammy po itong nangyari sa PhilHealth. Alam ko po yan dahil 2024, nagkaroon po ako ng 14 hearings including health emergency allowances ng mga healthcare workers. At doon natin nakita na kulang talaga yung counterpart ng PhilHealth sa kanilang mga pasyente. Tama yung sinabi mo kanina, napakaliit pa ng case rates nila. In fact, nung nagkagulo na, nung Disyembre, 2024, nagkaroon sila ng board meeting, tinaasan nila, sa ilang araw lang ng board meeting, tinaasan nila yung case rates. Kaya pala nilang taasan yung case rates sa ilang araw, Disyembre. Kung ginawa nila yun nung Enero pa lang, tinaasan yung case rates, wala sana silang excess funds na wawalisin ng National Treasury. Nung winalis ng National Treasury, nung July, doon tayo nagkaroon ng hearing, doon tayo na alarma, at may nag-file sa Supreme Court, salamat, at finally, na-desisyonan po na, sabi ko nga nung panahong yon, it might be legally acceptable then, but morally unacceptable dahil marami pong pasyenteng naghihirap na walang pambayad sa hospital. Kung kaya nilang taasan yung case rates noong Disyembre, wala silang excess funds, walang kukunin. Anyway, tapos na po yun. That's water under the bridge. Ang problema ngayon, nagdesisyon po ang Supreme Court ngayon na ibalik po yung pondo na 60 billion. Refund po ito. Ibig sabihin, dapat sana'y magamit kaagad ito. Ginawa pong appropriation na sa 2026. How about the 2025 na zero? Ilan po kayang mga pasyente ang na-deprive naman po doon sa zero budget po ng PhilHealth noong 2025? Kaya po, isa sa dahilan na hindi po ako pumirma noong 2025. Maybe ma-address po ito ng ng BICAM, paano po yung double whammy na yon? 60 billion, ibabalik sa 2026. How about na zero nung 2025? At kung maaari, mabigay na po yung hindi na ibibigay. Dahil nasa syntax law po itong earmarking, about 200 billion pa po mahigit ang hindi nabibigay since 2023. Ilang pasyente po ang matutulungan nito? Ilang buhay po ang masasalbar sa pondong ito? Na alam naman natin, nung 2024, nung kinuha po yun, yung 60 billion, medyo nahalo-halo na kung saan ginamit. May nagsabi na ginamit po sa health emergency allowances. But the truth is, it was pinulled po siya, tas ginamit po sa iba't ibang... kaya isa po ito sa dahilan na hindi talaga ako pumirma nung 2025 dahil sakit na zero mo yung PhilHealth. Pinaglaban nga natin na wag kunin yung excess funds ng PhilHealth. Hindi naman excess yun eh. PhilHealth yun, klaro naman, health para sa Pilipino po yun. Hindi excess funds po yun. Sana po yung ma-address rin po ito ng BICAM. Salamat po.
Madam Chair, if I may.
I would like to recognize our minority leader, the Honorable Marcelino Libanon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for the record, yung HGAB ng House for 2025, hindi po binawasan ang PhilHealth. Iwan po kung saan na po nabawasan yun. Maraming salamat po.
Yun nga po yung sinasabi. Mabuti na lang po, no? I commend the both houses na nagkaroon tayo ng transparency ngayon na bukas yung BICAM. Hindi katulad last year na pag bukas ng BICAM, pag hindi na namin alam, tinawag na lang kami, sasara na yung BICAM. So hindi kami pumirma. Ba't kami pipirma? Hindi nga namin alam ano pinag-usapan. Salamat. At ngayon maririnig na po ng taong bayan ang pinag-uusapan dito. It has been my call for a participative budget process. Dapat talaga involved ang ating mga kababayan sa bawat proseso. Pera po ng taong bayan ang pinag-uusapan dito, kaya dapat alam nila yung anong prosesong ginagawa. This is in line with Section 28, Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution, which declares that the state adopts and implements a policy of full public disclosure of all its transactions involving public interest. Napakahalaga po yan at Section 7, Article 3 of the Constitution provides that the right of the people to information on matters of public concern shall be recognized. Salamat po. Meron na tayong ino-observe na natin this year po yan. Last year, wala po. Tama po si Congressman Libanan. Sir, tama po kayo na last year may pondo. Paglabas sa BICAM na zero na po. Yun po ang ating ikinalulungkot dahil hindi po kami nakaparticipate po sa BICAM. Nag-opening hanggang pagsasara. Hindi po ako pumirma noon sa BICAM, for the record. Salamat po.
All right. Any more opening statements? Kung wala naman po, pursuant to Article 6, Section 24 of the 1987 Constitution, which provides that all appropriations, revenue, or tax bills authorizing an increase of public debt, bills of local application, and private bills shall originate exclusively in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments. The House Bill number 4058, as approved by the House of Representatives, will be used and flashed on the screen as the base bill. Consistent with our observed practice and in accordance with this constitutional provision, the Senate made its amendments directly to the House bill. The House of Representatives has been provided with the amendments to the House bill, number 4058, as approved by the Senate on third reading. Electronic copies were transmitted on December 9, 2025, and hard copies were delivered on December 11, 2025. To maintain an orderly discussion, we will tackle the budget on a department/agency basis. we request that interventions be made at the appropriate time as each agency is called. And if may I suggest to Congresswoman Mika, I heard in her opening statement that the House had made significant improvements to the National Expenditure Program. It's good to highlight those improvements so that our constituents can see the efforts and the interventions that the House of Representatives made to the different departments in order to make the budget more efficient and also improve the delivery of services. So, we will flash on the screen the General Appropriations Bill. This is the General Appropriations Bill. And if I may suggest, Kong Mika, suggestion po to na para po ma-discuss natin ng maayos itong line-by-line amendments. Ang suggestion ko po, umpisahan ho natin sa mga improvements na ginawa po ng House sa National Expenditure Program para makita naman po ng taong bayan yung kanina pong i-finlash ho ninyo na improvements in the different departments. And I suggest we start off with the education sector kasi yan po yung ating common direction, no, for the two chambers.
I agree with that approach, Sanbin. So we can go through every single department and then we can start from, we'll start to discuss the changes that we've done from NEP to GAB, and then I'll turn over it to you, Mr. Chair.
So to make it more efficient, I suggest that we finish, let's say, the Office of the Secretary first, and then we go to a different department, and then we can open the floor to discussions after that. No? So para po orderly po yung discussions, pwede pong umpisahan ho natin sa mga iba't ibang departamento at iba't ibang opisina sa ilalim po ng departamento na yon. No? So unahin ho natin, I'll turn over first the floor to you, Congresswoman Mika, and after you, will propose the changes from the Senate. And if there are any questions, we can open the floor po.
Sanbin, I'll just request for 1 minute to open my files. It seems like the internet connectivity in the room is a little bit slow, so I'm unable to open some of the files. I request for a quick 1 minute lang po, just to open the files.
One minute suspension. All right. So we recognize Chairperson Mika Swansing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We would like to put forth the amendments proposed by the House of Representatives as reflected in the HGAB, particularly with regard to education. As we discussed, we will first focus on the proposed amendments under the Office of the Secretary. In total, under the budget of DepEd, we are increasing the budget of the Department of Education from the current 874.5 billion pesos in the National Expenditure Program to 914.1 billion pesos. That is a total increase of 39.6 billion pesos to the Department of Education. What are the components of the increase? The first would be the under administration of personal benefits for overtime pay for teachers, honoraria for teaching overload, relocation allowance, terminal leave benefits. We increased it from the current 5.5 billion pesos in the NEP by 579.5 million pesos to a total of 6.11 billion pesos in the NEP, in the HGAB. Next, for learner support programs, the next item actually would be the basic education facilities program, that would pertain to the increase in the classrooms that would be built. We increased it from the 28.1 billion pesos in the NEP to an increase of 63.2 billion pesos. That is a total increase of 35.1 billion pesos towards the construction of classrooms, which, as mentioned earlier, will translate to 25,200 new and rehabilitated classrooms. Next would be the textbooks and other instructional materials. From the 11.2 billion pesos in the NEP, we propose to increase it by 50 million pesos to 11.2 billion pesos in the HGAB. Next would be under the basic education curriculum, and this pertains to improving services. This is actually in relation to ARAL, the tutoring program of ARAL. From the current 3.6 billion pesos in the NEP, we increase it by 984 million pesos to a total of 4.55 billion pesos. Under the flexible learning options, that being ADM, ALS, and EIE, we propose to increase it by 306 million pesos from 4.36 billion pesos in the NEP to 4.67 billion pesos in the HGAB. Next would be the Madrasa education program. We propose to increase it by 26.25 million pesos from the current 495 million to 521.7 million pesos. Under the school-based feeding program, from the current 11.78 billion pesos, we propose to increase it by 1.83 billion pesos, thereby putting school-based feeding program at 13.6 billion pesos. And lastly, this is pertaining to the Palarong Pambansa. We propose to increase the current allotment under the physical fitness and school sports from 481.6 billion pesos up to 531.6 million pesos. So in total, Mr. Chair, that would be an additional increase of 39.61 billion pesos towards the Office of the Secretary under the Department of Education. So the biggest increase, if I were to summarize lang po, Mr. Chair, ang pinakamalaki po nating ilalaan ay kadagdagang 35 billion pesos para po sa pagtatayo ng kadagdagang 25,000 na mga classrooms, 25,000 classrooms, at para po sa school-based feeding program, magdadagdag po tayo ng 1.83 billion pesos para mas dumami po yung bilang ng araw na pwede po nating mapakain yung mga estudyante sa mga paaralan. Yun po, Mr. Chair, those are our main amendments pertaining to the Office of the Secretary.
Maraming salamat, Congresswoman Mika. At maraming salamat po doon sa mga improvements at increases na ginawa ng House of Representatives sa National Expenditure Program. So on the part of the Senate, ito po yung mga proposals po ng Senate for the Department of Education, Office of the Secretary, to the amount of 958 billion pesos, and the composition of the Office of the Secretary is for administration of personal benefits, an amount of 8.4 billion pesos, learner support programs, an amount of 5,114 million pesos, Child Protection Program, 89 million pesos. Disaster Preparedness and Response, 3.772 billion pesos. Policy Research Program, 2.343 billion pesos. Basic Education Curriculum, 5.674 billion pesos. National Literacy Policy and Programs, 105 million pesos. Learning tools and equipment, 288 billion pesos. Textbooks and other instructional materials, 19.5 billion pesos. Basic education facilities, 85.3 billion pesos. Public schools infrastructure program, 330 million pesos. Flexible learning options, 4.9 billion pesos. Madrasa education program, 521 million pesos. School-based feeding program, 25.6 billion pesos. Ito po, in-increase ho ng Senado para po ma-increase yung number of days from 120 days to 200 days for kindergarten and grade 1. For government assistance and subsidies, 100 million 800 for School Innovation and Improvement Fund to all DepEd schools, 2.289 billion pesos. To Human Resource Development and Personnel in Schools and Learning Centers, this is 4.6 billion pesos. Projects for learning, upgrade, support, and decentralization. For project and learning, upgrade, support, and project for learning, upgrade, support, and decentralization, there's no change. For physical fitness and school sports, ito po yung palarong pambansa, 739 million pesos. For operations of schools for elementary, kindergarten to grade 6, 358 million pesos. For operations of schools, junior high school, grade 7 to 10, 197 million pesos. Billion pesos. For operations of school, senior high school, grades 11 to 12, 69 billion pesos. And then we realigned the last mile schools to the basic education facilities. So those are the proposals of the Senate.
Thank you very
Any
much,
comments?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
We'd like to open the floor for comments from the body. Both proposals have been put forth. Maybe a request for any comments from the conferees.
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair.
Go ahead,
I was
Senator.
just wondering, saan po dito nakasama, kasi sa mga classrooms po natin, yung mga electric fan, mukhang wala po dito. Saan po ba dito sa item na ito, mga upuan, ng mga sira-sira? Because nung last election, Mr. Chair, dito lang sa Quezon City, 50 yung estudyante, yung electric fan na 2 lang, sara pa yung 4. Napakainit, so mga estudyante hindi nakakapag-focus. Will that fall under basic education facilities, Mr. Chair?
Tama po. Nasa loob po siya ng basic education facilities.
I thought this is only for mga new classrooms.
Kasama na rin po dyan yung mga accessories for classrooms.
So, such as electric fans and then yung mga exhaust fans,
Exhaust fans,
desks, chairs.
desk, ilaw, kasama na rin po dyan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Opo. Nasa special provision ho siya ng BEF, Mr. President. Any comments? Any questions? Any motion?
Hindi ba? Yes. By
Madam Chair, kung pwede magtanong.
yes, Representative Libanan.
In line with the question of Senator Erwin, maraming schools po natin na nangangailangan ng TV sets at saka Wi-Fi na facility. Saan po dito? Dito rin po ba sa basic education facilities?
That is a different line item po. Under DepEd, there is a different digitalization component in the budget. So meron po doon na ICT, specifically for the provision of Wi-Fi to the different schools all throughout the country. So meron din pong pondo para doon.
Thank you po.
Ang sinasabi po ninyo, sorry, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, yung digitalization project na nasa NEP, iba pa yung ITC na sinasabi mo?
I'll pull out po,
Kasi
Senator
nahihirapan ako dito sa format po, Mr. Chair, Senator Gatchalian po. Kung maari, in the interest of true transparency, I think it's basic that we include the NEP or the President budget of 2026. It's most confusing to merely see the Congress and the Senate versions. Also, we should be allowed to compare it to the GAA of 2025 para maliwanag ang kwenta. Kasi hindi maliwanag po ang kwenta rito. Ang pagkaalam ko, hindi nakasulat dito, pero dun sa NEP, 16.48 billion. Tama po ba yung digitalization na tinatanong ni Congressman Libanan, ni Nonoy?
Particularly po, doon sa internet subscription services, 5.8, tama po yun, at a total of 16 billion pesos. Info and communications technology or laptops amounting
Yes.
to 8.9.
At yan ay hindi dinagdagan o binawasan ng Kongreso at ng Senado. As is lang, maintain lang yung NEP. Tama po ba?
Tama po yun.
Okay. Kung maari lang sa ating mga chair, hinihingi ko lang na sana ilagay yung GAA 2025 na maintindihan natin yung NEP 2026 dahil konting paggalang sa sinumite ng ating Pangulo. At eto nga, yung basic education facilities, medyo ito ang mabigat ang galawan, ano? Kasi nakita natin dito sa GAA 2025, 28.1 billion noong 2025. Tapos, nung NEP, 28.056 ang linagay ng Pangulo at ng DBM, pagkat alam din natin na 22 lang ang classroom na ipatayo. At ang disbursement rate nila ay bagsak na bagsak sa 23%. Ngunit, dinagdagan ng Kongreso ng 63 billion mahigit at lumobo pa sa Senado ng 85 billion. Hindi ako tumututol sa pagdagdag ng classroom. Ang tinatanong ko lang, tama ba itong ginagawan lalo sa 85? Tanong lang po.
Opo, go ahead.
Actually, Senator Amy, ang backlog ho natin sa classrooms is about 165,000. At kailangan ho tayo mag-allocate ng about 400 billion pesos para lang makahabol. So ito ho ay hindi pa nga ho tayo nakakahabol ho dito. Ito ay para lang ma-decongest ho natin yung mga highly urbanized areas. Ang magiging method at mekanismo ng Department of Education ay papasok ho sila sa number 1, PPP, number 2, counterparting with the LGUs. Number 3, counterparting with the CSOs. Number 4, counterparting with NGOs. So, ang kanilang strategy is sabay-sabay gagawa ngayon ng classrooms. So, ito po ay napag-usapan naman during the hearing, during the budget deliberation, at base po sa calculation ng DepEd, kaya naman ho nilang i-implement ho ito, basta sabay-sabay ho nilang i-implement.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Ang akin lamang, kapag ganito kababa ang disbursement rate, klaro na hindi budget ang issue. Walang kakayahan ng DepEd magpatayo ng ganyang kadami at ang public works man. Sabihin na nga natin na iba-iba ang gagawin ng PPP, ng NGO, CSO at iba't iba pang tropa, LGU. Ang tanong ko po, wala namang maliwanag na plano. Kasi ang totoo, nagawa na po natin to. Hindi naman sa pagmamalaki, pero yung massive school building program po ng dekada 70, alalay po ako noon ng ama ko at nakita natin na new technology sa building ng prefab nung panahon na yon. Sa ngayon, wala naman tayong sinasaad na modular or ibang prefab na technology. technology na napakarami ng foam concrete at kung ano-ano pa. Wala naman nababanggit na ganon. At dyan tayo makakamura, alam natin yan. Ikalawa, wala namang prioritization, yung color-coded po ng DepEd. Kabisado po natin yan. Galing tayo sa LGU, hindi naman ganun kaliwanag. Pagkatapos, wala namang kaakibat ito na programa para sa ating teachers. Hanggang ngayon, alam naman natin, teacher natin, ang baba-baba ng sahod. So, marami pong dahilan. At ang lalagay ng napakalaking budget, baka hindi ito ang tanging sagot lamang. Yun lang po, obserbasyon lamang. Ano ang absorption rate na totoo ng DepEd? Apakababa, nasa 23%.
Actually, maraming salamat, Senator Amy, sa inyong mga komento. At actually, ang nangyari ho kasi, merong special provision na ibinibigay lang exclusively sa DPWH ang construction. No? So, for 2 years, almost 5 years, no? DPWH lang po ang nagko-construct ng classroom, farm-to-market roads, hospitals, yung health centers. So ngayon, under this budget, i-allow na ho natin ang mga iba't ibang ehensya na pumasok po sa counterparting with LGUs. No, kung gusto ho nilang makipag-partner with LGUs, pwede ho sila mag-partner para ho mabilis yung construction dahil ang LGUs ho, alam naman ho natin, mas mabilis ho mag-construct. Before I continue, let me recognize the presence of Senator Mark Villar, one of our conferees.
Mr. Chair. Yes, we appreciate the concerns of Senator Marcos, and as the chair mentioned, there are several options that Secretary Angara had mentioned in our hearings and in plenary, and that would be including letting the local governments implement the school building program, and we appreciate that. And in fact, Senator Aquino, I think, and Senator Pangilinan mentioned also about the possibility of CSOs and PPPs with accredited private sector partners. So, having said that, if there's no other question, Mr. Chair, I would like to move for the DepEd Office of the Secretary Budget to be approved.
Mr. Chair?
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
I have
Senator Tulfo.
one quick question. Kanina ko pa po hinahanap dito sa Office of the Secretary